Welcome to Unleashed with Yourgi. Trusted advice, real support, and everything you need to give your pets their best life. I'm your host, Elizabeth Morais, and in each episode, we bring you expert insights, tips, and real-world advice to help you and your pet thrive together. Life gets busy, but when it comes to your pets, consistency is one of the greatest gifts we can give them. Today, we're diving into how to create a simple, sustainable pet care routine and how Yourgi's trusted network of providers can help you keep your pet healthy, happy, and thriving without all of the overwhelm for you. And joining me today is Michael Bushnell, a canine care specialist with over 15 years of professional grooming experience. He began his career at a veterinary practice where he honed his skills in both grooming and animal well-being. Since 2018, he's been a trusted pro at Canine Courtyard in Flower Mound, Texas, a bustling grooming salon, daycare, and boarding facility. Known for his calm, confident touch, Michael is passionate about making dogs look and feel their best. And today, he's giving us a peek behind the grooming table, sharing how expert grooming supports not just appearance, but a dog's health, comfort, and quality of life. So welcome, Michael.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm so happy to have you here. I'm so excited to learn more about you and here's some advice on how we can really help our pets live in a more thriving way.
Yes. Today is what we're going to talk about, right?
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
Well, let me start with the first question, shall I?
Right.
Okay. So what are some foundational elements of a healthy daily or weekly pet care routine?
Well, the most things that are important is basically, you want to stick to consistency. You want to do the right feeding, grooming, stability for them. It's just
Right.
like
Mental health.
right,
You're
that
right.
mental health for them. It's just kind of like one of those things where they need that to thrive.
Right.
Yes.
What are some other things that we can do in our daily practice for them or daily, I'll say practice?
Uh, the thing about it, I think nutrition is one that's really
Okay.
good. Exercise. Doing something with training. Pretty much trying to keep them consistent.
And when you say consistent, do you mean on a regular schedule
Yes, on a
and like they
regular.
need it on a certain time
Yes,
of the
every day on
day?
a regular schedule. Something that you're going to be doing with the pet every day.
And
Right.
I would assume, well, I will say, I know because I have a dog as well. We have two cats and one dog. I know that having that consistency, one helps them, but it also helps us relax and to know exactly what we need to do and know that we're also helping them have a thriving life.
Yes,
Right,
yes,
right.
yes,
And we
yes.
don't have to wonder what are we doing or what shall we not
Right,
do.
right,
It's just
right.
it's just right there and we can
Yes.
relax and
Yeah.
and ease into that
Yeah,
routine,
yes,
right?
and also, with pets, they're just, they're here for us, and they're like make our lives a lot, easier, I
Yeah.
guess, in that
Yeah. And
sense.
so it's our job to make it easier for them,
Right,
right?
right, right.
Definitely. I love it. Well, how can pet parents balance exercise, training, grooming, and health checkups without feeling overwhelmed? Because I know that's a lot. I
Yeah,
know for
it's a
myself, it's
lot.
like,
You're doing a lot. There's a lot of things you got to do, and I'll try to say, maybe put it into small blocks,
okay,
into instead of trying to look at it all at one big, thing, but
okay.
just kind of break it down into smaller little blocks of, everything that you're going to be doing with the pet.
And what do you mean by break it down to smaller blocks? Like things into your calendar?
Yeah, a calendar, or if you have an app or anything you could do, basically put it down into where you can not feel overwhelmed. And I love the animals. I love my job, and just going to work every day with dogs, it's just so emotionally like I just love it,
Yeah.
I'm not a really big people person, and so the dogs just give me that, it lights me up every day. I
I
just
love it.
love dogs so much. And it's just
Hmm.
like one of those things where I want to do it. It's not where I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to go to work
Right,
today.
right.
Every day I'm excited about going to work because I love doing,
Oh,
what I do.
you have a
So
passion for it to
yes,
help them.
it's a passion. It's not like a job to me.
No,
So, and I
no.
love the dogs, and you get attached to the dogs. So it's like,
Oh, because they come regularly,
yes, they
right?
come regularly. So it's like,
Okay.
man, it's like my dog, and it's,
Oh. And
yeah,
you get to
it's
know them, I'm sure, and
right,
know what
right. You get to
helps
know,
them feel
yes,
better and
yes,
happy
and
and
yes, and
ease those calm or
right. And
ease
so
the
it's like
nerves.
every day, man, it's just so much where I'm like excited about.
Oh, that's wonderful. So I'm sure
Yes.
you also help the owners then too.
Yes, because
But
sometimes owners they're unsure, and it's your baby. You're giving your dog to someone else to do
hmm
the maintenance and the care. You want them to be the best that they can be. And they also ask about their dog. Was
of
the
course.
dog good? Things like that. But I just love it so much to where it's like I have no bad days.
I bet. Oh, that's awesome. So
Yeah.
when you have those clients who come in, do you call them clients, or I mean,
We would
who's
call them, yeah, clients.
okay? Because they're not patients, right?
Right,
Who's
right,
right?
right.
You have those owners who might be a little nervous, like you mentioned about giving them over. So
Yes.
in what you do, how do you ease their nerves so that they don't feel overwhelmed? They don't feel like they're doing all this stuff or what
Well,
they what they should and shouldn't do.
well, I'll just tell them, hey, the dog, hey, the baby's gonna be fine. This is your kid. And we say stuff like that to let them know, hey, it's everything's gonna be, okay, and they're in
Hmm.
good hands. And we love the pets. We
Yeah,
love the dogs. I love them. It's just one of those things that you get used to doing every day, and it's just like, man, it becomes a passion.
of course. Yeah,
And I just let them know, hey, they're in good hands. Just
wonderful.
like if I was bringing my pet to someone else,
Right, your
I would
loved
want to
one.
know, right? I would want to know, hey, what's up? What's going on? Give
Right.
me a call. Let me know,
Yeah,
anything.
and you represent that for them.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
And then, and they get the dog back and they love how he looks or she looks, and they're
Of
like,
course, they're like, oh my
right. They're
gosh,
like,
look at
okay,
that.
so they're like, we like this guy. I'm going to go back here again. And so they
Right.
come back, and, that's pretty
And
much.
and what do you tell those clients what they need to do in between their sessions? Because sometimes I know that with our multi poo, when we're being really good, we're not always very good, but in terms of scheduling. But it's good to go in weekly for her bath and once a month for her grooming to get a beautiful little cute
Right.
cut. So. What do you recommend to those clients to do in between? Whether if they are coming in weekly for the bath, or maybe it's every week, or I'm sorry, every other week, or just once a month? Like, what do you tell them to take care, how to take care of their animals?
Well, the thing about it is, I always say maintenance.
And what does that mean, though?
Like brushing,
Okay.
you know, if you have to bathe the dog at home, if it gets dirty outside, doing that.
Yes.
We would prefer you bring the dog to us, let us do it, and then we can take care of the dog. However, but if you're at home brushing, teeth brushing every day,
Okay.
anything you could think of that you do for yourself, you're gonna do for the dog as well.
Okay. You must have some amazing stories of some of the pets that have come in. So, do you have, I don't want to say a favorite because I'm sure you have many favorites. So, one of your favorite animals that has come in, tell us a little bit about her or
Okay,
him.
so yes, I do have a bunch of favorites, but this is which is one of my favorites. She's a little dog. She's like a little Maltese mix, and the parents they called and they said, "Man, we can't find a groomer for her. She's like had some bad experiences," and they're like, "Man, we've went to this." Links of so many different groomers. And
That
so,
and the dog just didn't want to go
right, she
in. Is
just did
that's
not
okay?
love it.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, so yeah, of course we're like have to have that same where we're like kind of nervous, like what's going on. But I'm thinking it's a little Maltese, like how bad can she be? You know?
I
And I'm
have
like, this
one.
isn't right. So I'm like, okay, so they bring this dog and her name is Major Kiera. So I was like,
Okay.
oh wow, I say that name. It's like,
Hmm.
man. So the dog comes in and man, she's like really like, nippy, but she's just kind of like looking around, wide eyed, and she just really don't want you like to grab her and stuff. So I said, okay. So I told one of my coworkers, I say, well, we'll put her outside, let her play with the other dogs for a little bit and
Oh, you
see,
warmed her up a little bit,
right, and see how she
integrated
does.
her. Okay.
Well, she did okay. She was in there and she was, playing around. And so finally, when they gave her to me, I put her in my arms, and oh man, it's like she just melted it to my heart. Oh my
Ah.
god! And
And
it,
what about her? How did she
yeah, her,
respond?
her attitude was just so sweet.
Oh,
She was so good, and I think it was just nobody's ever had that where she could be just comfortable, and
right.
that gentle, touch, and that's what she really needed. And man, every time she comes in now, she's like one of my favorite dogs.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
it's
you gave her that feeling of community and ease into it rather than just let me take you by the leash, put you on the
right.
table.
Yes,
Right.
yes, yes. She. I think also playing with the dogs kind of let her get that feeling of, you know, out running around, not
Right.
going into a kennel or anything like that when
Right.
she
There's
get to
because
us.
yeah, because there's certain smells
Right,
and the
right, and I
temperature can be like, I don't want to be
right,
there.
right, and when the dog, a lot of times with us having a daycare, it really helps the dogs that's coming for grooming because they let them play and it gets all that out. Sometimes
Mhm.
dogs have to get that stuff out then we can bathe them and
Just
do
like
the
kids.
grooming, right? Just like kids. It's so funny. It's weird, but
Right.
and then after they're done, they're like ready to take a nap.
Right. Oh, I'm
It's
sure
so
that was a big relief for the owners
yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
and she comes all the time, and I just love it, dog.
Oh, that's special.
I
And I know that's only one story of I'm sure
also one of
many,
many,
many, many.
many, many.
Yes.
Yes,
Well,
yes,
you have a long history of grooming.
yes,
15 years?
yes.
Yes. So tell us how you got started. Like what drew you to it, and then what kind of training did you need to have to?
I had got this little schnauzer. I bought this little schnauzer. It was I guess, it was a show breeder.
Mm.
And so when I got this little dog, man, I was like, oh my God, I love this little dog. So I started looking for grooming and all that kind of stuff.
All the things when you
Right,
get a new
everything you
pet.
need. So the
Yes.
groomer, I found a mobile groomer, and so she came to my
Okay.
house, and then she was grooming him, and me and her became really good friends. And so I was like, one day I said, you know what? I am just tired of working in the office, with people. I'm just over it.
Mm.
And so she was like, why don't you try dog grooming? I was like, really? And she was like, yeah. She was
What?
like, check it out, try it out. And so I was like, okay. So then she told me, she said, well, I have a really good friend who's a groomer already, and she needs a bather, and she's at a veterinarian office in North Dallas. And I said, oh wow. I said, I would love to try it. And so,
What a great way to
right,
ease into
right,
it.
right. And
Yeah.
so at the time I was working at State Farm, I was working overnight. And so I went to the vet, and that morning, and I told, it's been weeks had went by. So I went in the morning, I talked to her, and she was telling me about grooming. And so I was saying, okay, well, what do I need to do? And she was like, hey, you need to, got me into like bathing dogs and all that. So that's how it started.
Mm.
And then basically I was working at the vet, and then I mean, it just all kind of came together. And with the vet office, I'm seeing other pets and all that. So that's when I was just like falling in love, with
Oh.
that. And so eventually working with her, um, training and all, learning how to groom through her basically. And that's how
So
I
she
started.
trained you.
Right, basically.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And now you've grown from there.
Yes, yes, yes. Experience. That's how I just, yeah.
At the same time, I think there's an element of your heart in there that makes you different from many out there.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah.
You have
Oh,
a heart
yeah.
for
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Because you gotta have that passion for it, because you're gonna have good days and bad days, like any job. And so everything's not gonna be perfect. So you're gonna have like every dog's gonna be perfect. So you're
No.
gonna have some dogs that won't look so great because it's a whole lot that goes into it. It's like humans.
Right. Yeah. You
You
can
know.
walk out and have a bad haircut.
Right. Right. And it's just the coat. The age. Is
Right.
so. But you begin to understand people, and you love all of it.
Right. Well, you definitely have a passion and a heart for pets and for their owners, helping them help their pets have healthy lives. And of course, routine is a big part of that. So, if you could tell us a little bit about how Yorgi can help busy pet parents build and maintain a reliable care schedule. Because earlier we talked about blocking things out so that we can get things done without feeling overwhelmed. So, how does Yorgi help with that?
I think Yourgi could play a really good part in, like, far as booking your reservation,
Okay.
booking your times, using it as a push notification for, like, dates if you need to go out of
Oh,
town, if you need
right.
to go, get the dog groomed, or any services that your pet may need. I think that would be a great option for you. It would make it a lot easier for you.
Specifically, if you're busy, you have this app that is very effective in reminding you or giving you the ease of setting those appointments up and
Yes,
yeah,
yes, I
and
think so.
paying
You're right,
and all of
right.
that.
Booking it, paying for it, having it all done. Because nowadays, everything's through apps and stuff like that. I think it's, a game changer for the, future.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. To
Yes.
create more loyalty for the clients to come
Right,
in, to
right.
keep coming
Yes.
back and
Yes, more loyalty, maybe even I think with like a point program or something like that.
mhm.
Just something to kind of keep the client, you know, a communication with the client, and also the client having something they could use to keep everything pretty simplified for them.
Now, Michael, what are some of the foundational elements of a healthy daily or weekly pet care routine?
Consistency, feeding, um, basic training, bonding, stuff like that. You want to continue with the dog, daily, every
Mm-hmm.
day, exercise, doing some kind of stimulation with the dog.
Is it important to do it at certain points of the day, or is it just knowing I need to do these things throughout the day? Is
Well,
it better to have those specifics or?
Well, you want to stick to a time, a certain
Okay.
time, and with dogs because they need consistency, and if you do it at a certain time every day, it'll keep them like on the same, it'll build trust with the dog, you
Huge.
know.
That's
Yeah,
huge.
right,
Right.
right, and you want that and that communication, and that's how
Mhm.
they begin to trust you and they love you, and they can understand, and it also like helps with like bad behavior, things that they're acting out or doing things that you think they shouldn't be doing if they have that consistency,
And so then they develop that trust, and that probably that
that
then
bond.
the
Yeah.
bond, and it also
Yes.
impacts their mental health
Right,
as well.
right,
That they can
right.
relax into that routine.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
all can relax, right? When we
Right,
have a
right.
routine, we know,
It's
oh,
a
I need to do that, and I'll do that. Oh,
exactly.
that's coming up, or I took care of that. I'm
Right,
done.
right, right. Just kind of
I feel
doing those
accomplished.
things daily.
Right. And weekly
Right,
and all.
right.
Definitely. Right. I love it. And how can pet parents balance exercise, training, grooming, and all the health checkups that we have to do with our animals without feeling overwhelmed? Because we all live really busy lives. We love our pets, but what can we do so we don't feel overwhelmed?
Well, the thing is, you have to break it down into little small blocks. I feel like because it's a lot, you want to try to do all of it and it's overwhelming. So you want to break it down into small blocks where you having to do just certain things. Maybe not everything all on one day, but just do like this one day, And through a 5 day, work week, you want to do all those things and just stay consistent.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Love it. And Yorgi can help with that, right?
Right, right. Or you
And in
can
what
actually help
ways?
with that. Yes, they can.
What
Yes, they
in what
can.
ways?
Services that you need, if you need anything for as grooming, daycare, boarding, things like that, the veterinarian, Yorgi can help you set, it builds on that. And basically
Mm-hmm.
that's how you can use the app.
And I would think too is I mean, a lot of overwhelm comes from trying to do it all yourself.
Right,
And
right.
so
Yeah, yeah,
with services that you provide and the like, thinking, okay, if I just put this into, if I utilize the app, I then can delegate in a sense
yeah.
and not feel overwhelmed.
Right. And they can send you reminders, things like that, let you know, hey, I got this coming up because you got a busy life and you have so much going on. You didn't have
Right.
time, so it's like, man, you got to get all of it in at once.
Right. Well, in conclusion, I'd love to ask you one more question. Okay. What's one small but powerful routine change that can make a big difference for pets and their owners?
Well, I think that one thing that you can do is just 5 minutes of each of your day, if just 5 minutes of time, just to, be with your pet alone and things that you can get out of that 5 minutes, you'd be surprised. And I think all that you have to do, bonding, checking over the pet, everything, you could just 5 minutes, just once, a day. That's it. It's all it
Hmm.
needs.
So having that consistency, that intentional time, even if it's just 5 minutes,
Right.
give them that time to be fully present.
Yes.
That's what I'm
Yes.
hearing you
Yes.
say,
Yes. Yes.
so that
Just
you
that.
can look at, check them over if there's anything going on with them,
Right.
but
Right.
also
And just, see how they're doing and everything like that. It just takes 5 minutes.
and bond with them,
Yeah.
right?
And
And
you're
have
bonding
fun
it.
and
Right. And you can make that an activity.
love it at a certain
Yes.
time.
Yeah. Just, you want to be consistent with the times, just
Hmm.
whatever time you do it, just stick with that time.
I would love to hear a little bit of your expertise in terms of what is one thing that you think, oh, I wish pet owners wouldn't do this in terms of grooming. Like if I know for us, if we go too long, there's a lot of matting that
Right.
happens,
Right.
right? And so
Yes.
I'm sure the groomers are like, oh no, here they come again. So
Well,
is there one thing that happens often that you think, oh, if people would just do this one thing?
right. Well, and the thing about that is we, as a groomer, we all say it. It's just we would like people to bring the dog back more.
Right.
And I know where
More
everybody's
often.
busy. Yes,
Yeah.
more often bring the dog back. That way we don't have to get into the matting.
Or
And
just and then that's just
ro-
shaving them out.
right, right. Because a lot of people are like, "Don't shave my dog," I don't want it shaved.
But you have
Which
to.
you're right. And so and that's the thing about it. I don't want to do it, but it's something that we have to do. And I always say, it's a fresh start. We're just gonna start from the beginning, and
Hmm.
we'll go back to where get the parent kind of trained on a little program where it's like, hey, look, come back 8 weeks. We got to get this done, and not only with long hair dogs, short hair dogs as well. The nails, I have a lot of problems with those dogs that come in with the parents, really, but the nails are so long, the quicks are so long,
Yeah.
and we haven't, we get off the schedule and we have to like try to do the nails. And I try, some dogs, they just don't want it because it's been so
So
long,
long, right.
But once you start doing it, I mean, even if it's a puppy, if it's 8 weeks old, bring it in. Let's get it started. That
Right.
way they get used to it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
pretty much maintaining.
Right. And Yourgi will help you with that, with the
Yes,
reminders,
yes,
right?
Yogi will
And
help you
setting
with
the
that.
appointments.
Yes,
Awesome. Well, thank you
yes.
so much for your time today. It was a pleasure learning about your passion and the work that you do with animals. We really appreciate, one, your time, and two, the love that you give the pets
It's
that you
no
work with.
problem. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're
Thank you.
welcome. Consistency is the foundation of a happy, healthy pet. And with Yorgi's trusted network of providers, you can build a care routine that fits your life. Visit yorgipet.com to get started. And for more practical tips on creating the best life for your pet, make sure to subscribe, follow the show, leave a review, and share it with friends who love their pets just as much as you do. Until next time, stay unleashed with Yorgi.